welcome into the podcast. I'm Brett,
I'm Dorian.
and we got some news for you.
Sure do. We're going to be talking the Rogue Squadron movie, Sephiroth and Smash, Mandalorian Chapter 6. But first things first, congratulations are in order. Brett now has a clan of 3.
Oh yeah, that's true. My son was born. Good old Bodie.
Good old Bodie.
And then also, I thought you were going to be facetious because the next thing we're going to talk about is Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk has cyber stunk.
People got cyberpunked.
People got punked. Yes, this game has been delayed multiple times. It got delayed again. What's going on with this? Because I just hear basically PlayStation, Xbox are giving full refunds for the game.
Basically, the PS4 and the Xbox One version, the base versions of these systems are not running as intended. There's a ton of glitches. It's not holding up to the hype or all the stuff that it should have, delivered on. PC port seems to be running just fine. And right now, where we're at, Cyberpunk dev, CD Projekt Red has offered refunds for this game, but they couldn't really offer those. So now they have to have PlayStation do that through their digital store. Matter of fact, it's been taken off the PlayStation store until they can get this game up and running as it should be here. So yeah, I mean, it's a mess all the way around here. It's something that should have been delayed longer. It wasn't. And here we are.
Yeah. Now this is a slap in the face of Keanu Reeves, if you ask me. No, it's unfortunate, really, is what it is. I mean, the game looked pretty cool. It's been hyped for a while, and lo and behold, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work, no. So, I mean, for a while, I thought these guys were going to be the new Bethesda. They seem to. I mean, essentially, they made the Skyrim for last gen with The Witcher 3, and now it kind of looks like they might be blowing their chance with that here. I mean, I understand wanting to launch the game on all platforms at the same time, but if you're going to have this many issues with one or two versions of the game, delay those versions or just delay the whole thing, period. Don't try to make everything work when it can't work.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that, but I mean, I don't know. I think this game's kind of a bust when it comes to how much money this company's losing. I don't want to see them go away because it makes some pretty awesome games.
Yeah, no, I mean as of right now, their launch is just absolutely awful, and hopefully they can get it under control and turn it around. But yeah.
Yeah, big time. Sorry about blowing our chances. Snyder Cut's coming out. Did you know that, Dorian?
No, never heard of this movie ever before in my life here.
It's coming out in March 2021. And you did write it down. Okay. I was going to say, I've been hearing recently that there's some language in this movie.
Yeah, apparently it's going to be rated R. Batman's going to drop the F-bomb.
Why?
It's Zack Snyder. He's just edgy. That's all he is. That's all he is.
Yeah. I mean, supposedly from what we've been hearing, that's all it sounds like he's adding is a little bit of edginess.
Also on topic with that edginess, Cyborg is apparently going to have some dark conversations with his dad. Steppenwolf's going to be hacking people in half. The whole 9 yards here. So, yeah. I'm just glad that this movie's finally going to be coming out one day so I could just stop talking about it.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I'm right there with you. Other movies coming out. We got Mortal Kombat. It has a new release date. It is April 16th, 2021, and it's going to be on HBO Max as well as in theaters. It just keeps happening. They're going to be simultaneously releasing pretty much everything from here on out, it looks like. And, I don't know. I want to see something before I get too hyped because I love this franchise.
No, I mean, and anybody who's grown up with in the 90s, you know what Mortal Kombat is. I mean, that was the thing. Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. They were the two biggest games that came out. Yeah, but I'm right there with you. Give me a trailer and then we'll talk about being excited. And we haven't really gotten any trailers for any of these other big HBO Max movies that are supposed to be coming out. So it's kind of weird,
Yeah,
but
totally. Yeah. Yeah, weird we haven't seen pictures or anything, like no stills, no teaser, no nothing. So
yeah. I mean, I think COVID probably had a factor to play in that just because they probably want to save the trailer a couple of months out. That way they're not building hype too soon or something like that. They want to maintain the hype train all the way through to the release date.
that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Yeah. Speaking of that, we didn't put this on the show notes, but Monster Hunter came out recently, or is coming out. Yeah, and it's not looking good.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. I mean, we all knew this wasn't going to be, you know, The Departed or
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah. I mean, it,
yeah, it's a Monster Hunter movie, So, all right, well, let's talk about some things that might coming out that might be really good. We got Rogue Squadron
yeah.
coming out. We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
It's not
No,
going to be
I
a video
mean,
game
I like
adaptation
that
though,
idea,
so which is good.
just having an original story instead of like, I don't know, trying to base it around the books or the movies.
So, yeah, I think you know, obviously this is what I would like. I didn't really play the Rogue Squadron. I played Rogue Squadron a little bit, but like the new one I haven't played, and I haven't read. Like I was thinking when they said Rogue Squadron, like Alphabet Squadron, it's a book. I was thinking something like that, like they were gonna kind of redo the book, and I was like, oh, I haven't read that, but that might be interesting. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I like that idea, just having an original story instead of like, I don't know, trying to base it around the books or the movies. I mean, Patty Jenkins did say that she will be drawing influences from the video games and the book,
yeah,
which, okay, that seems like the best way to go. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go. You're still kind of honoring what came before, but at the same time, you're doing something new and original with it rather than retreading old ground. So yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this movie will be too much of my thing personally. I mean, I'm more invested in the Jedi side of Star Wars. So
let's talk some Overwatch too, because we haven't really heard anything from this game since when? When was the
it got revealed or something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
so apparently we're gonna be more information at BlizzCon at BlizzCon in February. And so
Yeah.
what does that look like?
Well, I mean, Blizzard has their own convention, which I mean they're going to do it digital. Seeing how COVID likes to ruin everything that involves anything more in a room with more than 10 people.
Yep.
So, uh, basically, they just released a news map for Overwatch One, and they mentioned that hey, February we're going to be talking about this probably more in length. But yeah, February 19th through the 20th, that's when it's going to happen. I'm just really hoping they actually show us why this is a game that we need to
Right,
buy.
yeah.
Because as far as we know, as it currently stands, all the new characters that are introduced in Overwatch 2 are going to be coming to Overwatch 1. All the new maps. The only thing that they have teased or shown us that will not be coming to Overwatch 1 is new PvE modes, story missions, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if that's the only reason to buy a game, then if you're a big story guy, then do it. But as far as competitively,
Sure.
if you're just playing PvP, there's no really reason to buy this quite yet.
Well, right, and that is the core appeal to the game is the PvP, all the stuff that has. Yeah.
Totally. All right. Well, that's it for nerd news. Let's get into the thing everyone wants to talk about, which is a
Yeah.
part of our roundtable review, and that's Mandalorian.
Yeah. So, chapter 16, The Rescue. So, spoilers ahead.
Spoilers.
We're not going to go super detail in terms of like bit by bit. So, pause the episode or
See you next week.
just don't care.
But yeah, this, man, we haven't even talked about this yet, so this is going to be interesting.
No, this is going to be the first time you and I have discussed
Yeah.
it. So, it's going to be.
So I woke up early this morning because my son was up, and my wife was trying to get some sleep, and I was like, I can't wait. I don't want to get spoiled. And
Yeah.
so I watched it, and dude, holy crap.
I
Holy
mean,
crap.
we have had some banger episodes
This is
this
an 11
year.
out of 10 in my opinion. Like, this breaks the scale.
20 out of
Yeah, this
10.
breaks the scale.
Jeez.
I don't know
Yeah.
if this is toppable in future seasons, which it was bittersweet. Dude, I like got teary-eyed in this
Dude,
episode.
this could have been a series
I got
finale.
chills, I got teary-eyed, the whole 9 yards. I think you feel every emotion in this episode.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
But yeah, let's talk a brief summary
So,
and then talk about what we thought and all that.
sure. So, I mean, episode opens with Mando and crew grabbing the scientists that we saw in episode or season 1. And they grab him, they get information off of him in terms of like schematics of the ship and like a little more insight of like what they're going up against. They meet up with Bo-Katan. They grab her and her friend. They make their way on Moff Gideon's ship. Mando fights the Dark Troopers, or at least a Dark Trooper. Yeah, yeah, which had a hard time doing that.
Dude,
Here.
those things were
And that was
beasts.
just one.
Like, I was trying to figure.
Yeah.
I'm like, as it's happening, as he's like shooting it, nothing's happening. I'm like, why don't the stormtroopers have this kind of armor? But obviously, you know, and it was confirmed. Obviously, we kind of knew it from how they looked in the a couple episodes ago. But they are droids, and dude, the music that comes on with them, like that dubstep techno, that was pretty sick.
Yeah.
Like their little theme song, I was like, okay. And I was getting serious. Have you seen Toy Story, right? Toy Story 2?
Yeah.
Zurg? Like,
Yeah.
I was getting Zurg vibes. Like, they just have a menacing look to them.
Look like that.
They have a menacing look to them, the red
Yeah.
eyes and all that. And I was just like, oh, snap, dude. There's no way that they're going to be able to take these guys down. So,
yeah. So, long story short, Mando takes one out with the Beskar spear, and he opens the airlock and gets rid of all the other Dark Troopers. And then Moff Gideon and Mando have their fight that we've been predicting the whole season.
yeah.
And he wins, gets the Darksaber, which turns out creates conflict between Bo-Katan and Mando, because in order for Bo-Katan to legitimately get the Darksaber and like get like all the fringe benefits that come with it, like ruling Mandalore, she has to get it through combat. And that's why she mentioned earlier in the episode she wanted to be the one that fought Moff Gideon. Yeah. So those Dark Troopers that we thought were gone, they came back, and they got Mando and the crew trapped in the bridge, I think is where they were at. Yeah. And Moff Gideon's there, and Moff Gideon is just like manipulating he's trying to sow divisions and discord between the whole crew. And so they are trapped in this bridge. They got a ton of Dark Troopers coming after them. They're all behind this door that they're trying to breach. And that's when someone else shows up. And
we'll talk about him in a minute.
We will talk about it in a minute. But this certain someone takes out all the Dark Troopers and then leaves with Grogu, and you cut to the end credits.
That's the end of the episode. Once that person leaves,
that's the end of the episode.
That's it. And I was like, what?
And then
you got to stay till the end.
And then, like, post-credit scene, we go to Jabba's palace. Boba Fett has taken over the place, and then it is announced that Boba Fett is getting his own show next December called The Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So, and also shout out to Jeremy Bullock, who died over the week. OG Boba Fett actor.
Yeah. So, man, there's a lot that happened in this episode.
Dude, it was So let's get into the big thing here. That certain someone that shows
Jedi
up
Master
drove in an X-Wing. And first I was thinking, okay, they're not doing this. This
Yeah.
is like
I was like, there's no way.
Ahsoka has to have like an X-wing, or Ezra has to have the X-wing that I don't know about, or
Right.
something like that. But sure enough, once as you see that green
Yeah.
lightsaber turn on, it's like, this is Luke effing Skywalker showing up in the
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
Yep.
Uh,
I know, it's crazy. Like, and for me, so as soon as I saw the X-wing, I was like, no, like no stinking way, no way. I was like yelling
yeah,
at
I
my
was in
wife was
complete.
sleeping. I was like, no, no way. Like, and then so they have some cool shots where they don't actually reveal the color of the lightsaber because it's like on like their security cameras.
Their
Yeah, and I
monitors,
was
yeah.
like, is it him? And then as soon as you see the lightsaber with his, with his glove, you're like, oh my gosh, that's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker was freaking amazing. Like
Uh,
combat, like boss,
yes.
killed a whole platoon of the Dark Troopers like it was literally nothing.
This is essentially what people were wanting at the end of Last Jedi. They wanted to see this Luke Skywalker show up.
Oh yeah,
This is
100%.
like I'm sure this is like essentially the equivalent of John Favreau and Dave Filoni saying, "Hey, Last Jedi haters, we see you and we hear you. Merry Christmas."
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
No, dude, it was honestly surreal. Like my wife was super stoked on it too when we rewatched it. And
Yeah.
dude, some of the moves he has, he literally crushes one just using the force. Um,
Yeah, he
the
does.
only qualm I have, because okay, so this is Luke has a hood up the whole time until literally the very end, and it reveals. Because I was like, did they
Yeah.
recast him? Like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too,
Is Sebastian
because
Stan actually gonna show up right now? And
exactly, yeah.
but no, so we got basically, I don't know how they did it. It was a CGI face on someone else's body because it definitely wasn't current Mark Hamill. Um,
Yeah, but Mark Hamill's
yeah,
voice.
he,
Yeah.
which was interesting that he was. I mean, he's a voice actor, obviously, so he could sound like his younger self if he wanted to.
Yeah.
So yeah, they
Yeah.
actually obviously brought Mark Hamill back to do the voice, and then yeah, it was like a CGI, and that's my only qualm. Like it's CGI when you're looking at it. Obviously, it's done really well, but
Yeah, I will say, compared to like how Grand Moff Tarkin looked in Rogue One, like a lot more blemishes,
yeah,
or like, like those uncanny valleys, or those things that just stick out that make you realize this is a CGI face. They weren't present like so much in this version of Luke Skywalker.
so you say this is the better version? You think?
I would say,
Yeah,
yeah, this is a better version
really
than
similar to
what we got in Rogue One.
really similar to Leia's face in Rise of Skywalker. I think like same kind of
Yeah,
feel.
or even at the end of Rogue One where you see it
Yeah,
briefly.
totally.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was fine. I'm just like we'll talk about it. Like so we get Luke. He comes in. He's a bad mamma jamma, like the
Hmm.
baddest. Like there's not. I don't think
Yeah.
there's been a better Star Wars scene in Star Wars except for some obviously key fights like Obi-Wan, Anakin, uh, and
Yeah.
then
Darth Maul
yeah,
fight.
Vader. But
Yeah.
this was like I thought the Ahsoka episode were like this is the epitome of Star Wars. This is legit. This one up that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. It did.
I was like, my gosh. So what happens basically is Grogu ends up leaving with Luke to go get trained, and
Yeah.
Mando reveals his face again because the child wants to touch his face, and it's like this really heartwarming, and it looks like he's crying too, like.
Yeah.
And so more character development with the Mando. Now we have all these questions like, will we get more Luke? Will
Hmm.
Mando have to kill Bo-Katan? Like, is she going to try to physically take the Darksaber from him? Because that's the only way apparently you can do it. Even though he said in the episode, he's
Right.
like, I yield, here's your Darksaber. And she's like, and then,
Doesn't work
it
that
doesn't
way.
work that way. And Gideon knew that. Gideon
Yeah.
got his butt kicked, by the way. There wasn't even a contest, in my opinion. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, why do you think he tried to go for the cheap shot?
oh yeah, I know. Yeah, he tried to get him real quick. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah,
But
so old man
yeah, I
not to
mean,
kill Bo-Katan. all these different things that are now up in the air. It's like, okay, well, so no Grogu anymore.
Mhm.
How does the Mandalorian work without Grogu?
Well, I think it's.
Or are we moving into a
I
different
don't
act?
think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be like Grogu's completely gone. I think he'll be gone for a little bit, like maybe a half a season or a whole season, somewhere around
And then
there.
he'll go
But I
visit.
think they're going to be reunited at some point.
Yeah, maybe for sure.
Yeah.
I can see that
But
happening.
but with Luke, could see him using him more sparingly, just because I think uh, they've been trying to kind of divorce themselves from the main Skywalker story. Obviously, they broke that rule for
Yeah,
this, but I think they want to try to make Star Wars more than just the
dude.
Skywalkers,
Next
and I
next
think
December is legit insane for
it's
Star
going to be
Wars.
insane.
Legit
Yes,
insane.
it is. And we don't have any movies.
No.
It's all TV.
Yeah.
We have 4 shows that are, I'm assuming, all going to be interconnected and have that big crossover
Yeah.
event.
I'm stoked that Boba
But
Fett. I mean, episode aside, I'm stoked that they did. I never watched like through the credits, and for some reason there wasn't the
right.
artwork, so I was like, wait, this is weird.
Well, yeah, because typically it'll tee up or like the behind the
Right.
scenes stuff once it's the credits stuff is happening. And I was literally going off, making myself some breakfast when I saw that there was more to the scene after the credits. I'm like, oh wait, hold up. I gotta stop doing what I'm doing and watch this for a second.
Yep. Crazy.
But yeah, no, and then yeah, I think
So what do you think of the Book of Boba Fett? My theory is that it's going to be basically he has like a hit list of people that he wants to basically reconcile, quote unquote, with, meaning he wants to take them out because
yeah.
they wronged him in some way.
Yeah, I could see that. I think yeah, I'm not entirely sure like what the book part of Boba Fett means to. It could be just like his stories or tales that um happened across um the time he was around or
Sure.
just all of his adventures. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be like maybe more of a crime drama set in the Star Wars universe because he's, I think, going to be an underworld player now, and he's going to be making wheeling and dealing and getting into gang fights and stuff like that. That's what I would assume.
Yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, with that said, final thoughts on the episode.
Well, I mean, I think Giancarlo Esposito really brought it home with Moff Gideon. I thought,
And they didn't kill him.
great
They
actor.
arrested him essentially.
Oh, they didn't. Yeah. Honestly, great action throughout. I mean, the showstopper is Luke showing up here.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, just thinking over the season in general, I am really surprised how good the pacing was in this season, just compared to last season, because you had that lull in the middle
Mm-hmm.
after like the first 3 episodes. But man, like they really like just got the slower episodes out of the way, like at the beginning, and then they just fired on all cylinders for the rest of the season. So
Totally.
yeah, really cool, really great.
Yeah, we got some more stuff for you guys. We talked about it last week, but I guess I'll talk about, before we jump in the next thing, I want to talk about my final thoughts on the episode. I was just listening to yours, but such a masterpiece in my opinion, and I'm gonna rewatch that episode probably a couple more times even.
Yeah,
I want to watch it as a whole. I
mean,
want to like binge watch it. Obviously, I'm on vacation right now for a few weeks.
yeah, you got nothing to do.
I mean, I got a kid, but yeah, he sleeps a
Wow.
lot. So yeah, we'll be watching some more Mandalorian probably. And but yeah, man, like I'm honestly still like in disbelief that it actually happened. I think, even though I've
Yeah.
seen the episode twice, I was just like, he was like the one guy I didn't think would ever show up.
Me neither. I mean, I thought like they would reference him or like maybe like a off-screen cameo or something like that, but not like
No,
this. Not like
no.
this.
And what could be really interesting is if he meets Ahsoka Tano and telling her about,
Yeah,
Anakin turning back to the light at the end, and what that would mean for
yeah,
her. Uh, that could be pretty
right.
big too. But yeah, this episode, like I wasn't joking earlier. Like obviously, we usually do a scale of 10. This is a 10 out of 10, easy.
Easy, easy. I mean, yeah, highest recommendation comes with this here.
Yeah. So next, we got
But
some more reviews coming your way. Those of you listening.
mhm,
What else we got, Dorian?
yeah. Well, so Sephiroth for Smash Bros. DLC, its official release date is December 22nd.
Okay.
However, they did something a little different this go around. They just yesterday they added something called the Sephiroth challenge, where you would go up against Sephiroth as a boss in the game. If you beat him, you get to play him before the official
Oh,
release
that's
date.
sick.
So, yeah, it was so sick. I mean, and quick side note, I thought I got the world record by doing
Yeah.
that because I got him on very hard in 14 seconds. And uh then I go find out that some jerk did it in 3 seconds.
What?
So
3 seconds?
yeah, 3
That's
seconds.
nuts. All right,
Yeah,
so I would say I'm a casual Smash player. There's seasons where I get more
sure,
competitive with it, but
sure,
you follow it a lot more closely than me. So what is Sephiroth? What does his kit look like? Is he going to be competitive?
sure.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I played about 2 to 3 hours. I did some training and mess around with them, doing quick play online. And I gotta say, this is probably the first DLC character that I'll add to like my lineup of characters I play with. Like he's probably gonna be like top 3 or top 2 of my competitive picks for characters I'll
Wow.
play.
Okay.
But so let's start about his kit. So he's got the range, man. Like his smash attacks, his tilt attacks, like you can hit people like from a with a decent amount of range. And also a lot of his special moves are long range.
Okay.
So you got a couple of range moves that do a decent amount of damage. Um and even his recovery has a decent amount of range. And if you charge it, it'll kill.
Yeah.
So there's that. But he's got a lot of utility. He's got pretty good recovery, especially if he gets his one wing out. You get a third jump with that. So instead of like just
Oh,
two
that's sick.
jumps.
Okay.
Yeah. And have you watched the breakdown of like the character when like Sakurai goes into details?
No, I have not.
Okay. So basically how like his one winged form works is if you are trailing behind against your opponent, like let's say you have a higher percentage or you're down a stock, then it'll start showing up earlier, or that's when it'll pop
Okay.
out. So it's basically a comeback
Yeah.
mechanic for the most part. So, so the further you are ahead and the more damage you receive, like it will take more damage for you to actually pop out that wing as opposed to being from far behind or something like that. But, yeah, but I think like a lot of competitive characters typically, or like pro players, you don't see them using like a lot of their like side Bs or like special moves. I think with Sephiroth, you can see that see him using the special moves like pretty often because I think they have like a lot of utility. Okay. They're good for zoning and all that other good stuff. But I think he's going to be a counterpick for characters that have like really good aerial game, like really good aerial attacks, just because he's got like so much range that he can hit them out of the air. Some of the downsides I'm seeing, I just don't think he has super good offstage options, especially for like if you're spiking your opponent. But and he's not super fast compared to like some of the Fire Emblem characters like Marth or Roy. But that being said, this is pretty much everything I wanted for a DLC character, to be honest, because I've been looking for a character that's, has decent power, but also good range. And I think this is the guy, and he's a lot of fun, and I could definitely see myself getting good with him.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm actually interested in playing him, so I'll have to come over and try that out. But
absolutely.
Real quick, some housekeeping. The holidays are coming up, so we're going to be taking a break, spending with our families. And so we want, we'll be back in the new year, 2021, with some more shows for you. But with that said, thanks for listening. We greatly appreciate it. Check us out on all our social medias and on YouTube. Leave us a like, subscribe, leave a review, all that good stuff. And have an awesome week and a Merry Christmas. And remember, everyone's a nerd about something.